Hi guys, today we are going to take a very good look at one of the forefront runners of the so-called soul trap community, and I like to call it the soul trap community, psyop. And we'll see exactly why that is. But this is a person who has a lot of articles on this subject, who even has a Patreon on this subject, who seems to have made it their mission to talk about the soul trap, just in regards to whatever else they're talking about. And this is Wes Penre or Wes Penre, however you even pronounce that. And this is a person whose name came up over and over again when I first started debunking the entire community. If you haven't seen that video yet, go see that video. You can watch it after this one, obviously. Very enlightening. We already talked about how David Icke is basically controlled opposition, how a lot of these people are controlled opposition, including Max Spears, who I personally don't even believe is dead at this point. But I'm going to do a read on that later on, like in a few weeks or so. But yeah, I personally think, a lot of psyops are just being pushed. And so it's really important to go through these because, like I already said in so many other videos, once you're dead, you're only going to have like this sliver of time or this very small window to decide where you go, where your consciousness goes, where your soul goes. And that is going to be exactly that window where you do not want to be deceived. And so when you listen to people like Wes or also others such as Icke and a few others, which we're going to come in future videos, it's just really important to understand what they're trying to do with your consciousness, which is not benevolent at all, and what exactly is happening here. So we have one of his websites right here, Wes Penre, videos.com. And then when you go to his about section, he seems to have yet another website. So he has quite a few things. He's really pushing his Patreon channel and this and that, whatever. And for someone who supposedly doesn't make any money off of this, like a lot of them, including Howdy Makowski, who's also going to be debunked in a future video, by the way, a lot of these people are just coming from the standpoint of, oh, we're just helping humanity. We're just such great humanitarians. We're not doing this for any monetary benefit at all. Which if there was a button to push, like, and win the lottery game or something, like that's the button to push. Wrong, because there is a lot for you to gain when you have a Patreon and when you have whatever amount of subscribers that you have at this point, which you built up over the past few years or even decades, who even knows, right? So these people are not coming from a purely humanitarian standpoint, is what I wanted to say with that. No, they're also gaining something on a monetary level. And obviously he's not really on YouTube anymore. You can find a few of his videos on BitChute. I think Rumble as well, because a few people on Rumble left a comment in regards to him. And that's also how I was able to just dig through his stuff, because before that, I didn't really care much for his name. But the more I was digging through it, the more it became obvious for me, and also people who have eyes and ears and a brain to see, to think, and to hear, that there's something very wrong with what Wes Penre is pushing to. And so if you go to this other site, wespenre.com, the first thing that's already jumping in your eyes is the entire ET. So I'm going to read this paragraph right here. Once we understand the ET extraterrestrial influence, which extra means outside. Like, not necessarily even outside of Earth, but outside on the mass that is around us. So whatever that is, you talk about Antarctica perhaps having an extension of where we are now. Like if our entire reality is this clustered thing where all of the conscious, the souls, the beings are in the NPCs, the robotoids, all of these things are meant to live. We're clustered in this caged in thing. And then once you go further, let's just say down to Antarctica and climb that ice wall, or go beyond where you're never be able to go beyond anyhow, like not even the tourists who visit it for like 10K a year. Once you go beyond that, there's like a whole new world. So that's what it's not like outside of Earth, like the globe that he actually highlights right here, which I found so weird why you put a globe picture on that, but I'll get to that in a second. But no, it's actually, we're still on the same plane. It's just extra in addition to where we are. Let's just say Canada is extra to the US. It's still on the same continent, but it's just extra, similar to that. So whatever is beyond Antarctica is like extra to it. So once we understand the ET influence in our lives, we will also understand how everything is connected. There is no way around it. It needs to be known. Sounds pretty New Age to me. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you're talking about these people not being New Age because they talk about the soul trap community and, oh, we were trapped here and this and that. But the way he sounds is really New Age, and the way Ike sometimes sounds is really New Age too. And it's also so fascinating that there's at least one person who does chakra removals, which if you haven't seen that video yet, it's this one. It's the most recent one, not the one from 2 or 3 years ago. Don't get confused with that one, but this one right here, which is all about that one person who's damaging people with their chakra removals. And this person debunks New Agers, but then does chakra removals. Who else does chakra removals? New Agers. So how can you be against the New Age when you're actually doing the exact same things that New Agers are doing? It makes no sense. And it's so similar to this Wes Penre guy. He sounds pretty New Age. Oh, cosmic conscious, like extraterrestrial. Okay, all right. And now here's the kicker. There are a lot of benevolent star beings out there, but those who are directly influencing our planet do not fall under this category. Okay, so who determines that they're benevolent? Is that you, Wes Penre, or is that something you channeled from somewhere? Because this kind of sounds like Barbara Marcinek and Ashaya and Adine, which both are highly in the New Age. And none of their messages are true, by the way. They're just channeling this AI, like these AI entities around them. And they're misleading and deceiving people on a very grand scale. So he's determining there are benevolent beings, but why would you want benevolent? Like, why aren't we enough? You know, if we're so powerful, we're constantly being kept down and here and there. Why do you even have to be in touch with other benevolent beings? It makes no sense. This is a typical New Age program, and he falls into that. So he says the ones that you're directly in touch with or influencing do not fall in this category, which I will show beyond any reasonable doubt. We don't need that. We already determined at this point, you don't really know what's going on. Therefore, it's crucial that as many people as possible start looking into these subjects that I'm presenting, because much of this information can't be found anywhere else on this planet. So he thinks we're on a planet. You know, he thinks we're legit on a planet, whereas I have a video on where we really are. If you go to this video, where are we really? Inner Earth, all of that. I'll link that too, though. This is a video that really explains the insight that I got where we are. And it's not necessarily a planet, okay? Also the planet, if you should dissect the word, it has the net in it, it has the PLA. If you just dissect those things and what they really mean, it gives you a clue to a lot of things. So he just goes on blobbing off. And then his main one, this was written in 2023, is the ultimate guide to exit through the grid. Okay, this is really interesting and fascinating because when I first started reading this, it already gave me a lot of clues as to how deep the deceptions run with him and also others. So he has this thing right here, which is a globe. And I think at this point we can all agree we're not really here on this globe. Now, it could have just been because you put the picture because he didn't know how else to depict Earth. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with that, but it would have been better just to have more, you know, the reality that we're really in, which is not that globe reality. Over the years, I've written multiple articles and made videos on how to exit the matrix through a hole in the grid around the Earth. Who else says that? Like a lot of these pseudo spiritual things, also the one who actually does chakra removals is blobbing off with, oh, you just punch a hole in the grid. I wonder if they got that from this guy. You know, this is what I mean. They're all plagiarizing the same source, or like these 2 or 3 forefront runners, meaning Ike, meaning Penre, meaning possibly Mikowski. I don't know. We're going to dig through his material in a different video, like I already said, but they're never coming up with their own ideas. So if you truly think these, I call them clowns because that's what they, at this point, that's what they are. If these clowns, who some of them are damaging other people severely, really have a clue on how you can get out of there just because they're plagiarizing another person's content, you are grossly misled. And he continues saying, I started out by giving very simple instructions because it is very simple. I agree with him. I'm going to say when I agree with him and when I don't agree with him. I agree with him. I think the way to get out, especially once we die, but I think there's for sure a way to somehow exit this during our lifetime, like during the consciousness we are in. I think it is very simple, and a lot of people are just overcomplicating it. I also want to note he has a lot of ads on his website, and usually when people do that is because they get ad income through their website. So another sign that he's not just doing it for the humanitarian benefit, you know, he's doing it because he's getting some sort of money ad, like some sort of ad income out of this. Just want to point out the blatantly obvious. This is what travel bloggers do, because that's how they get half their income, through the ads they run on their website. So he does the exact same thing, and therefore we cannot assume he's just doing it to get the content out there. No. So because it's very simple. However, I noticed that people must have thought it seemed too simple, so they complicated things, and all these what ifs came into the picture, and they just escalated because of people's fear. I also partially agree with him on that. People are making it way more complicated and overblowing this entire matter, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be something very extremely simple. And because it's so simple, we're always constantly distracted from it with every single thing that we're doing. You know, we turn on the screen or something, bombarded with stuff, bombarded with ads, bombarded. It's similar to that, where you're being bombarded in your daily life. Random noise, random attacks coming through, a neighbor knocking on your door, trying to, you know, those type of things. So life in and of itself is actually quite simple too, but it's the noise around us that makes it almost the opposite, or makes it seem the opposite. And I think it's similar with this theory as well. So I'm gonna for sure say I agree with that. It's understandable to feel fear of the unknown, but this fear must be transformed into courage and overridden to the point when the bravery is stronger than the fear, or the exit will obviously not happen and you will fall into the recycling trap again. I don't agree with that. I simply don't agree with that. I don't think having no fear, like, I think when people are still a bit afraid, they can still override this somehow. So I don't think having absolutely no fear it's not as simple as having no fear. You know, there's an awareness that you need to have for sure. And so he's writing, this article will most likely be the last article I write on how to exit through the grid. And after having listened to people's what ifs and all of that, so we're going to go straight into the procedure. The exit procedure is ridiculously simple. Please don't overthink it. You will become your own obstacle, given into your fear and chicken out. Don't agree with this entire fear thing, really. But I think I understand where he's coming from. And, you know, like, he's not, this is the thing. They're not completely wrong. But where they are wrong, they are so wrong that you can literally be siphoned off into another ET reality, which is not getting you out anywhere. It's just getting you into yet another matrix grid. And that's not where you want to be. So here are his instructions. If you truly want to exit, please continue reading. This is what is required. Number one, you must get rid of fears until you get to the point when you know you will be able to exit. You accomplish this by doing inner work. Agree with the inner work. We always have to do inner work all the time. Otherwise, you're just going to stay at the same spot that you were 20 years ago. And a lot of people have started commenting on my videos being like, when they question these other soul trappers or just soul trappers in general, a lot of times these other people who are putting up these videos, they don't want to change either. You know, they just want to have their fear mongering, oh, we're in a hell realm, we're in this and that, but they don't actually want to grow in their life. And I have noticed that myself too. And it might be worth another video, I'm not sure, but there is something to it that these people just want to stay in their victim mentality, as already said in the overall soul trap community video I made. They don't want to improve. They don't want to grow. They don't want to make their life sweeter or better, which you're fully capable of doing. They just want to stay, no, everything sucks. Everything's against me. Robotoids are attacking me 24/7. Oh, of course, we're in a hell realm because this lion just tore through the lamb. And it is something that's not even affecting their reality, you know, or even things that are impacting their reality, which they could easily turn around. And so I agree with a lot of people coming to me being like, yeah, they don't really want it. I totally agree with that. And this is a good thing. Do your inner work. I mean, this is just general advice for a happier life, anyhow, a happier and more fulfilled life. So then he's pushing a 20-day reprogramming. You know, okay, surprise, surprise. So now people are supposed to be taking this and it's all with him. And of course, like, nothing's free, you know, nothing's ever free, by the way. So then he says, make very sure that when you die, you have no attachments to the matrix and you're ready to leave everything behind. Don't be lazy with this one. This applies to friends, relatives, significant others, pets, and material things alike. Now, my question is, what if someone is aware of this entire topic, that there is something going on, we're being recycled over and over again from lifetime to lifetime, and then all of a sudden a car slams into them, they're dead. Boom. You know, does that mean if they haven't gotten rid of the attachments, they're still going to come back? I don't agree with that. I think there's more to this. There's more things keeping us here, let's put it that way, than this simple, oh, you need to be aware and you need to punch a hole in the grid. And that's why I think it is simple to get out, but you need to be aware that there's more things keeping us here than just this one thing. And that when you do exit, there's more AI out there. Like I already said, you know, Source has been converted to AI, or parts of Source at least. And I say that if you're new to this channel, go to this playlist right here. New to this channel, start here. It's exactly in this one from Source Earth. Trick to Come Here. I already had this video out in 2021. I see more and more mistruthers using the soul trick, which I mentioned that the first time in this one. So I don't know if they're plagiarizing me or where they got that from, but there's some very clear things going on, like very suspicious things going on with that entire community, which does not sit well with me and also others who question it. And energetically, it's so out there where like he is trying to put you in an AI reality, which we'll see in a moment here. So, okay, so he's saying all of this. I don't agree with half of this stuff. That's just my personal inside opinion that I'm getting. Being an aware being, you have to get your own insight too. You know, like it would be beneficial for you not to keep following these deceivers and start trusting your own self, because you're going to be lost otherwise, you know. Here's a simple exit strategy. So we're finally getting to the simple exit strategy. It's not so simple, you know. He's already written like a whole bunch of stuff, so it doesn't seem that simple the way he wants it to make it seem or make it appear. Okay, so then he's saying, when I die and leave my body, I look up in relation to my deceased body on Earth and I will spot the grid above me. Okay, the grid that he's talking about right here, the Earth grid or whatever, there's several. There's not just one. I want to point this out because it's so important. There's not just one. There's several different ones. And so if you're banking off of the concept, oh, there's only one grid I have to remove or get through, no, that's incorrect. If you want to know how to start removing grids and overlays out of your reality, I recommend this course, Combat the Matrix. It's my course. It has major things, also how to destroy your life script, very important. Destroy nets, overlays, and grids and everything, entities that are hindering you and your energy field, preventing you from living your best life, but also preventing you and possibly keeping you stuck. So if you want that, that's where it basically shows. It's really easy to start removing those things nowadays already. You know, you don't have to wait until you die to start doing that. So then he's saying, I spot one of the many holes in the grid. How do you know there's many holes? Like, where did you get this information? Did you channel it from your ET entities? You know, now I'm starting to question everything about this person because he's already in touch with ETs and he pushes the Orion agenda, which Orion's AI. And I think along these lines, I'm going through a hole in the grid now. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great thought process. But like I said, there's going to be more than one grid. The astral is thought responsive, so my thoughts will be instantly executed. You can't bank off of that either. What you should bank off of is them trying to attack you to the highest degree in those few seconds or few moments that you have to exit. So don't bank off of it. It's just that simple as, oh, thinking this. No, you actually have to, okay, so what if there's another distraction on this end? Was there this way? That's how it's going to happen. They're going to throw another distraction, another, and then lo and behold, you don't even know where you are. So you have to be aware of this, okay? And he's saying, therefore, the word now is very important. Okay, you can argue about this too. Let's give him that. Great, sure. And then here's the kicker, though. And here's really where I started being like, this guy, there's something wrong with this guy. Once out of the grid, which you're only out of one grid, there are multiple grids around you. I can already tell you that much. That is something that I know. I immediately think, I am at the Orion Queen's highest possible aspect now. I will be there in an instant, regardless of where she roams at that moment. Excuse me? So he's trying to get you to Orion. He's not trying to get you back to your creator being, to your creator's self, to your real soul, wherever you want to be. He's not trying to get to source or, you know, whoever the highest sun, or no, he's trying to get you to Orion. Excuse me? Why doesn't he try to get you to hell? That's the same thing. You know, and this is exactly what I mean. They're not getting you out of anything. They're just getting you from one point, from one matrix into another matrix. Do you want to be here? Serious question for anyone who's still following along and who actually doesn't even follow this guy. Do you want to be at Orion Queen's highest possible aspect now? Because I for sure do not want to be that. Hell no, I do not. That's the one aspect I do not want to be at. And if you go through his site and everything, you know, I don't know where it was exactly. He has a lot of like Orion books and everything. And then that's huge red and huge flag. You know, no, get away. Wes Penre, get away with your psyop here. There are a few tiny steps that are agreeable. But this is exactly the kicker. This is where this person wants to get you. Orion has been overtaken. All of these things have been overtaken by AI. Even where we are right now is being overtaken by AI. Which is why we're here right now, because there's nowhere else to go. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to go somewhere, go back to where you belong, where your source is. Don't go back to, oh, let's go back to Sirius. Let's go back to Arcturus. Like, are you kidding me? Are you for real at this point? And so there were a few other things which I want to go through. There's a Q&A right here, which this is the first one from 2025. This is brand new, fresh information. Okay. He's talking about soul incarnation takes place. We must sign a contract. So there's a question. If we must sign a contract before the incarnation, what's exactly written in the contract? All of those things. He's basically saying, what people call a soul contract is not anything written. It's a verbal consent between the deceased and the astral workers. So it's basically just AI. Okay. These astral workers work for the Khan, kings, archons, all of this. So the issue I have with someone promoting archons or Khan kings in this thing, which is the same BS, and promoting Orion, promoting ETs. ETs, for anyone who has eyes to see, ETs, okay, do ETs exist? Does a cow exist? Yes, a cow exists, is right there, right in front of you. ETs exist, but what are ETs? ETs is AI, and 99% of them, or at least 90% of them, is government created. That's why all these UFOs that you see is government created. It's just a huge military psyop that they're pulling off, that, you think this is technology they have in a few hundred years. They already had this for a long time, but it's not being revealed to the average person. So you think it's magic or it's ETs or whatever. No, it's just AI. It's astral entities that are, of just such a higher technology, similar to the Schumann resonance and all these other texts that they're using to really control your energy field, to control your vibrational field, which obviously if you have a biofield, you have a vibrational field too. That's how they control it, through these type of texts. And this is just another tech. Do archons exist? Sure, archons exist, but that's not, I mean, do ETs exist? Yeah, but that's not, like, it's kind of explained. Does a cow exist? Yes, but where's it coming from? Who created it? And it's not just it came from a different star system or planet. This is usually by your own government. So, excuse me, like I can barely even talk at this point because this is just kindergarten level. If you've really been digging through this for the longest of time, these are new age deceptions, mistruth or deceptions, and who even knows what other type of deceptions. And this is why people are so misled and misguided these days. They follow these things, they follow like Project Camelot, who keeps quacking off about ET, where it doesn't fucking matter. Excuse my language, but it doesn't matter. What matters is, how are they trying to control you, through what type of tech, and what can you do against this? So he's basically just running this entire program. And it makes me a tiny bit angry that people are still falling for this, because obviously he's still getting questions and answers through his Patreon group somewhere. And they still believe in this psyop somehow, and these are the people who are part of the Soul Tribe community. And these are the people other people are following. And you're going to be siphoned off somewhere into Orion Queen's highest spot. You're going to be siphoned off to AI. I can already tell you that much. You're not going anywhere for your highest good. So if you want to get rid of your life script of soul contracts, wonderful course to do that. Combat the Matrix. I'll send the link in the description box. And there's another Q&A that really, let's just go through these other Q&As, because it was quite interesting the way that, he just responds to it. You see everything. Materialist, all of that, blah, blah. Yeah, materialist people, I mean, they just, thumbs down to those two. I mean, those are usually just AI created people who are pushed with the algorithms and everything. Oh yeah, Trump won, blah, like people are still like, does it matter that he won? No, it doesn't matter. It's just a different side to the coin that's playing out right now. Okay, where's another question here? So just all these, oh yeah, what are the holes in the grids, right? Around the Earth, there is a bioelectrical field, a grid of frequency fence that is partly artificial, held in place with Orion tech that the Syrians are using. So why do you want to go back to them? Why do you, like, blatant, obvious, duh. Partly the combined energy of our human soul group. I disagree with that. It's all AI tech. And it's not from Orion technology. It's from really this higher military type of thing that's governed by a lot of different AI beings. If you want to call them archons, go ahead, call them archons if that's what makes you happy. But I mean, it's just this guy's just so misguided, you know, just like neurons and brain, blah blah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to know about him, you know. So how do you know? So this is the thing. How do you know some people become guardian angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters? Excuse me? Excuse me? Could it get any more new age? Souls get promoted in the afterlife because of the archon contract with Orion, blah 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 blah. Ugh. So many deceptions, you guys. So many. It's just sad that people still fall for this. So this is the video I wanted to make on Wes Penre. I hope it helps. I really hope it helps someone. You know, I'm not doing this. I don't wake up in the morning being like, oh, today we're going to ruin another person's life. Let's just debunk the Wes Penre. Let's just debunk Ike. Let's just debunk the chakra removal guy. No, I don't wake up like that. I wake up with the thought of, if I can do something for the highest good of everyone involved, meaning people who are still falling for the soul track community psyop, then so be it. And this is really important to point out what he's doing. Share your thoughts below if you want to. You know, if you agree, if you disagree, share them below. Would be interesting to have your opinion. You know, like this is the thing. This is the video where you would want to voice that, not other random videos that came out where it's not relevant. But this is literally, you know, the point in time where it would be appropriate. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. We're all in this together. Just want a reminder that we're all in this together. Even the people who claim they came back, they already ascended, they already exited the grid, they came back to help people. No, that's incorrect. You're here. If you really were somewhere else, if you had been out of here, you would have most likely stayed there. There's no other thing. Or people who just claim other BS and nonsense. No, that's incorrect. You don't know what's going on either. You still believe, some of these still believe Trump is superior over other politicians. You just gotta, you know, I like to do that because it's just so how are people still falling for them? I do not understand. Like from a rational standpoint perspective, I do not understand. But the deceptions run deep. And this is why they run so deep, because it's your spirituality. It's spirituality. And it's not tangible. It's not like a mathematical equation or something that you can prove very clearly this is right, this is wrong. And this is, I think, where people like to be deceived. They like to be deceived through religion, through spirituality, through all these things. But this is going to be the year that's going to be all debunked, at least on this channel. So I hope this helps you. Thank you so much, and talk to you in the next video.